Hello, I'm Simon. Welcome to Simon's Cat Logic. We'll be finding out from a cat expert why cats behave the way they do.
Today, we're finding out about cat sounds.
Well, of course, all cats have their own personalities. And I know with my cats, it's the sounds they make which really helps define them from each other. Well, I think the most vocal one of all of my cats has to be Big Fluffy Teddy. He's such a loving cat that when he comes into the room, he lets you know with a great big chirp. His tail's in the air, he's happy, and he loves to purr and puggle, and he will meow all the time for food. What do you do? In contrast to Teddy, I have Maisie, Big Maisie, and she was a rescue cat. So when she was a tiny kitten, she spent the first 8 months on the streets, so she didn't really learn to meow because she was living with other cats. And as a consequence, she doesn't really meow. So she's very quiet, and she'll go make a little tiny noise instead of a meow. But she's a very affectionate cat, and she purrs for England, so she makes up for not having a voice by purring as loud as she can.
Meowing's not actually a natural behaviour for cats. Out in the wild, they wouldn't be communicating with one another through vocal communication, and it's the same for feral colonies. When cats are communicating with each other, they actually prefer to use scent communication primarily, but they'll also rely on facial expression and body language as well. But with our pet cats, they tend to be quite chatty. What's really interesting is that this is a communication form that builds up over time with owners and their cats. The cat will develop specific meows depending on how the owner responds. So if the cat does a meow, for example, to say open the door, and the owner does this, then that cat will learn that that's going to get the response it wants, and it's more likely to do that particular type of meow next time. This is very much a learnt behaviour with people. So if you're a chatty owner, you may well find you have a chatty cat. When a cat growls at you, it's usually because they feel threatened in some way. Essentially what the cat is saying is, stay back, because I will strike or attack if you come any closer. Growling is quite a distinct sound, and other animals that are much larger use low-pitched sounds when they're being threatening. So cats may be using the growl to be more intimidating to other cats in order to get them to back off. Cats are often heard growling around food, either to tell humans or other cats to stay away. This is a perfectly natural behaviour because out in the wild they're solitary animals and they wouldn't be sharing their food with others. A cat may hiss for a variety of reasons, whether it's because they're poorly socialised or they've learnt a negative association with something that we're unaware of. Cats that are hissing or spitting are very likely to scratch or bite, and that's why it's very wise to leave them alone when they're showing these behaviours. If it's uncharacteristic for your cat to hiss, then certainly the first thing we'd recommend is getting the cat health checked by the vet, because it may be that they have an underlying medical problem, such as being in pain, for example, and it's crucial to get this ruled out first. Purring is one of those sounds that we're all familiar with. Generally speaking, it's when cats are feeling nice and content. This is a behaviour that kittens can show just after they've been born, and it's a form of communication with their mother that all is well. The mother will also purr back to say that all is well her end too. Cats will generally purr, if they're sort of stretched out in the sun or lying on your lap. But there are other types of purr. There is another type of purr called the solicitation purr. This sounds more urgent to the owner, and they're often asking for food or attention. Scientists have discovered that it has an embedded frequency in it that sounds like a human cry. Although purring is usually a sign that a cat is content, they can also purr when they're in pain. Now, if you're concerned, look at the context of the cat. Are they asleep and feeling nice and relaxed? Or could there be other medical signs that there's, an underlying medical problem?
Well, when I'd finished my very first Simon's Cat film, I started to think about the kind of noises he would make. I had a silent film, the cat was acting, but he had no voice. First of all, I thought about putting real-life cat noises on top of the cartoon. But I soon found out this didn't really work. They weren't really gelling together. So then I thought, well, kept cats all my life. I know the noises they would make and how his mind is working and what noises he would make in that situation. So then I thought I'd give it a go. Meow, meow. And it kind of works. Meow, meow. So ever since then, I've recorded all the cat noises myself. Oi!